Hey, boys and girls, it's Nick Capozzi. This is Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network, and it's Thursday. Sometimes we get Sky in for little deep leaguers, but you know what? Today is all Guru Thursday. We are going to jam and cram. So without further ado, here he is from the deep, barren wasteland that is Maine. I'm kidding, Maine. I love you. You're almost a Canadian province. Hi, Guru. You can follow him on Twitter at TheGuruGS. I'm, of course, at Nick Capozzi, Nickcapozzi. I also, if you like funny stuff mixed in with your fantasy, Guru's got a great blog. It is the dirtyturban.org?
.net.
.net. Org, net, whatever. How you doing
Nick.
today?
Hey, how are you, man?
Brother, I am good because I am like 3 weeks away from getting in the truck, driving up to Seattle to start this Razzball tour on August the 4th. Hey, real quick, let me just plug some of the bars that we are going to because they're awesome.
Absolutely, go for it.
In San Fran, we're at the Rec Room. In Oakland, we're at 3K Broadway. In San Diego, we're at Players. Houston Texans Grill in Houston. Press Box in Tampa. Clevelander in Miami. Wow, Clevelander, that is an epic place. Black Bear in Hoboken. Nice. Duke's in New York. Jerome Bettis is in Pittsburgh. Colts Grill in Indy. The Post in St. Louis. And I won't mention that one yet because they haven't sent the contract back. Razzballtour.com
get on it.
For all your information. So, listen, I want to jam and cram with you, brother. But before we do that, we got to cover this real quick. Tanaka having some elbow inflammation. No word yet that he's headed to Japan to meet with noted Japanese elbow surgeon Yoshi Mario Brothers. What's the deal here, bro? I'm concerned.
Oh, I'm really concerned, too. I own Tanaka all over the place, and I've got a jam or a cram for you. You want me to dive right into it right now?
You know what? Why don't you run the show today, Guru?
All right, let's jam or cram on finding a starter to replace Tanaka because we're not liking the way this is going. And if he's going to meet the Japanese version of Dr. Death, James Andrews, there's some real trouble there in the Bronx. So,
just for the record, he's not Dr. Death. Just putting that out there. And no, Tanaka is not going to see an elbow surgeon. But seriously, man, I might need a little sake tonight.
Yeah, it's time to find an arm for sure. I mean, let's look to a guy who's about 10% owned.
Okay.
Has 109 strikeouts in 94 innings and an ERA of about 2.2 over the last month.
Okay.
And that's a guy that's he's been better than Greinke, Cueto, and Bumgarner over the past month.
Shut the front door.
I think that piqued your interest. And, you know, the guy I'm talking about is Jake Odorizzi.
Come on. I love Odorizzi, man.
Yeah, he got off to a bit of a rough start at the beginning of the year, but he's been very good over his last 5 starts. He has good stuff, man. I mean, he's got 4 pitches. You know, the fastball isn't exciting. You know, it might touch 90. He doesn't have a Tanaka-like fastball, but he's got, 3 other pitches that he mixes in there with a changeup, a slider, and a pretty good curveball. He's going to get the Blue Jays next at home in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and everyone's hurt there.
Yeah, they are. And his ERA at home is about 2.76. You know, I say Joe Odorizzi smells like a Tanaka replacement jam.
Yeah, he's had a whip below 1 in the last month, and walks was always his issue. So when you see that kind of whip, that is pretty exciting. Hey, man, there's someone I got to talk about because I like this guy coming into the preseason. He had a slam and legs yesterday. I'm talking about Mr. Kolten Wong of the St. Louis Cardinals. This guy's owned in 12% of leagues, had another Wong Dong and a Wong steal yesterday. Very exciting. He is a hot schmatato in the last 5 days. What's your take on him?
Yeah, we're talking the hot bats over the last week today. Now, if you're a Brandon Phillips owner, and it looks like, you know, we're talking injuries, it looks like he's going to be out for a little bit with a thumb injury. So you're looking for a second baseman, and that position is pretty thin out there on the waiver wire. I'm going to look to Kolten Wong. I mean, over the past week, he's batting over 400. He's got 3 homers, 4 RBI, 4 runs. He's got a steal. I don't like it that he hits down in the order. I like guys that hit a little higher in the order. So I hope he gets bumped up there. But like I said, middle infield is thin this year. And if you drafted someone like Jason Kipnis, he's been a bit of a disappointment. If you were like a lot of Razzballers and jumped on Jed Jerko to start the season, that's been a bust. I can see jamming your Wong here until he goes limp. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. I love Kolten Wong, man, right now. Listen, he's a Hashimoto, but would I rather have him right now at this moment than Jason Kipnis? Yes. Gray and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Obviously,
Yeah.
Kipnis has more upside, but I'm definitely on the Wong Express right now. That sounded Wong.
Yeah, Wong, he could hit 5 or 6 homers and steal 10 bases the rest of the way. I mean, I'll take it. It's a jam.
Plus, he's a Cardinal. I like rooting for the Cards. That stadium when we did the pre-tour, we were getting some sports bars this year for the tour. Went through St. Louis, hit some awesome places. We're going to be at the Post in Maplewood when we come through there. I believe on September 2nd. So that was a wicked, beautiful ballpark. And St. Louis has toasted ravioli. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Don't try and make it yourself. Hey, real quick, I got a question for you. Someone actually emailed me, one of our viewers slash listeners slash readers, and said, why does Guru always wear his sunglasses? And listen, as far as I know, there is one broadcast icon that can get away with that. That is, of course, Bob McCowan of Primetime Sports on Sportsnet in Toronto. What are you doing? What's your story?
Well, you don't want to see me with the glass eye, do you?
All right, you can keep wearing him. You can keep wearing him. Although hopefully, because he is my main sidekick on the tour. We're gonna have lots of Razzball guys in and out of the tour, but Guru is with me for the whole thing, getting his flight booked today. So
yeah, I'll be meeting you out in Seattle, man, and then it's on to San Francisco, San Diego, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans,
Oakland,
Tampa,
man.
Miami,
Don't forget
Jacksonville.
Oaktown. Don't forget Oaktown.
Oh yeah, Oaktown. That's gonna be awesome.
Hey, by the way, too, if you are a Seattle Razzballer, so the tour kicks off on August the 4th, but going to be there a couple days early. So if you want to partay, I got a buddy who's opening up a bar there. I'm just putting that out there. You can tweet me at Nick Capozzi, NickCapozzi. We're going to do some more jams, crams when we come back here on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. Yeah. Okay, we are still jamming and cramming here. Oh, we just got a little peek at the eyes with the Guru on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. Let's talk Chris Carter, 20% owned. This guy's on a 7-game hit streak, 9 for 24, 4 homers during this hit streak. What scares me, though, he's got a Rob Deere K rate. I mean, 96 Ks and 262 at-bats. I'm thinking because he's a Hashimoto, you're probably leaning jam here. But tell me why I want to invest in windmill power in Houston.
Well, Chris, the truth is out there, Carter. Like he said, he's got you kind of stole my thunder there with the K rate. That's
I'm sorry. Do you want to go back? Should we pause the show?
Let's soldier on, my friend. Yeah, Carter he's been hot. 4 homers over the last 5 games, 7 runs, 7 RBI, but he's only hitting a $197 this year. But he does have more homers than Goldschmidt, Miggy, and Chris Davis. So, you got to give him that.
Does he really?
He does. I mean,
oh, my gosh. I didn't realize that.
If you need homers and you have rooms or you live in you play in the X-Files League, he's worth a shot, especially against the Red Sox later in the week.
You're dating yourself here with the X-Files reference.
Yeah, I know. But for now, you want to date myself? He's a Steve Balboni-sized cram.
Oh, you're cramming him.
I'm cramming on Chris.
I am shocked and awed. I was not expecting that. I figured on the hot streak. Is he a short-term jam?
It depends on the matchup.
Oh, okay. Interesting. By the way, he has a good one tonight. Great streamable bat if you want to get him in your lineup. By the way, everyone streams, well, a lot of people stream pitchers. You're not as accustomed to streaming batters, but that is an amazing thing you need to get on. You want to stuff those stat cats, and guys leave a lot of those games started in the offensive side of the game, but it's worth streaming batters. And again, Chris Carter has a great matchup tonight. Okay, let's go back to St. Louis because I love St. Louis. You know what I should do sometime? I should have like a top 5 list of like my favorite U.S. cities. Denver's in there. Seattle's in there. I did not do that on purpose. I really do love those cities.
New Orleans.
I haven't been.
Oh, well, I will be your tour guide,
yeah.
Mr. Capozzi.
No, because the last time you went there, you went to some vampire bar and woke up on your bathroom floor and your teeth were all red. So, no, you will not. You want to be my tour guide? Are you from New Orleans? Seriously, hit me up at Nick Capozzi. Okay, Dave Freese. Talk to me.
All right, let's talk some Freeze while we're talking hot hitters. He's hitting 560 over the last week. Two,
Yowza.
two homers, 7 RBI. He's got that average up over 250. I mean, Freeze is only a couple years removed from an All-Star season. He had like 20 homers, drove in 80 runs, hit about 300. He's been dealing with a shin issue the last couple of nights, so that's got me a little concerned here.
He's got
That
problems
hot,
with chew?
yeah, right. His hot streak may be coming to an end. I'm going to need to see more than a week of this before I'm going to jam him over other third base options. You know, I see Manny Machado is available still in some leagues.
No way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went in on that league.
Casey McGahee is out there, who I really like, and of course I'm a big fan of Brock Holt, who's also out there. I'd take any of them over Freeze. For now, I'll keep an eye on him, but Freeze is a cram.
Okay. Hey, did you hear last night that Adam Lynn finally got an MRI? Showed that he had a fracture in his foot, but this blew my mind. He didn't go for an MRI till his mom suggested he did. I'm not saying Blue Jays management. I'm not looking at you, Alex Anthopoulos, but his mom's got to tell him to get an MRI?
Put mom on the Blue Jays payroll.
My gosh. Man, was she bringing him some chunky soup while she was at it? Holy cow.
I think she was also massaging E5's hamstring.
Oh, okay. But that story was one of the best for me this year. That is right up there with when Ryan Sandberg admitted he used to eat cat food. True story.
Yeah, he's a smart one.
Okay. Let us continue down the list. Chris Coghlan, 6% owned, 13 for his last 31. He's been the cog in the Cubs offense.
Very good, there? Sir.
Okay. Talk to me about Cogs.
All right, Nick. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but can you tell me who came in fourth in 2009 in the NL Rookie of the Year voting?
Chris Coghlan.
Nice try. It was Andrew McCutchen. Actually, Coghlan won it there, my friend.
No way.
Yeah.
Man, where was I in 2009?
All right, Nick. Can you tell me the highest rated fantasy player over the last 7 days?
Kolten Wong.
You're not a fast learner. It's Coghlan. All right, back in 2009 when he won the Rookie of the Year, he hit 321 with 9 homers, 47 RBIs in 128 games. Liking that. He hasn't played more than 100 games since then. The Marlins dumped him. He hooked up with the Cubbies. This year he's hitting about 260, but he's been showing some signs of life lately. He's got a 339 WOBA and a 112 WRC plus, which are both, above average. And he's less than 5% owned, which could make him a sneaky pickup while he's hot. I like that. He had a 9-game hitting streak snapped last night, but he's been real productive over the last couple of weeks, batting 452, couple of homers, 6 RBI, couple steals. He's been batting leadoff, so there's potential there to grab you some runs. He's got 10 runs over his last 10 games. So we're talking some deep league or NL only here, but I'd say Coghlan is a jam.
Okay, good stuff. We are going to, when we come back, although we're not leaving yet, stick around, we're going to go over your fantasy all-star team for the first half since all-star break is coming up. But real quick, before we do that, Danny Salazar might take Justin Masterson's spot in the rotation. I need to point this out. This guy is 34% owned. So does that mean that 34% of league owners were out of it because after his horrific April and just stopped managing their team? How is that possible?
I think there's a good chance of that. A lot of people, that's why the waiver wire is so thin also, because, people get knocked out of it and they bail on their teams.
Like I did in the Razzball Writers League. Oy.
I noticed.
Messy.
Yeah, it's not the only league you bailed in.
Yeah. Okay, Danny Salazar, people, get off that. No to Danny Salazar. He might be good eventually, but not now. So that's a mess. Okay, we are going to go to break here on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. When we come back, we will go over Guru's first half Fantasy All-Stars. Sounds like a band. We're back on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. Also, now you can catch us on Stitcher and, of course, Cablevision in New York. We're everywhere, people. We're going to be everywhere. We hit that Razzball tour starting August the 4th. But right now, we are talking Guru's first half Fantasy All-Stars. So, Let's go through this, man. Okay, let's go by position. Catcher.
Sure.
Talk to me.
Yeah. I think hands down, there's one choice for your fantasy all-star
Can I
catcher.
guess?
Go for it.
Oh, VMAR doesn't have catcher eligibility anymore. Mizurako.
Close. I've got him at second as the alternate. My fantasy all-star at catcher is Jonathan Lucroy. He's having a heck of a year, and I think he deserves that spot.
Okay. First base. Can I guess?
Sure.
Jose Abreu.
Oh man, really like Abreu. Really like Goldie, but even though he's injured right now, Edwin Encarnacion has been the best first baseman this year.
Okay.
He's been better.
I'll give it to you. Second base, I'm not going to hazard a guess. I'm just going to let you tell me.
All right. You may have thought Ian Kinsler. He's having a pretty good year there in Detroit.
Yep.
A player that I really like and own all over the place is Anthony Rendon of the Nationals. Great DFS player, too. But your fantasy all-star for the first half would be at second base, Jose Altuve, who's just having an awesome year.
The wee one. Yeah, average, steals, and it's actually pretty amazing how well he's done considering all the windmills playing around him in Houston. Okay, third base. Who you got?
We've talked about a couple of these players this year. You could say Donaldson there in Oakland, Beltre in Texas.
Always there, always in the conversation.
But I think you and I will agree that the best third baseman in our fantasy all-star for the first half would be Todd Frazier. Frazier.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Plus, he gives you outfield eligibility. And you know what, man? This guy is on a sneaky, 30 homer, maybe 20 steal pace. And, we had Nando Defino, of course, from the Fantasy Sports Network a couple weeks ago. We talked about Frazier, and I said, where's he going to go next year? Because statistically, and the guy's a third rounder, but he was saying maybe 6th or 7th because people won't buy in. Where would you take him next year?
In what round?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Second round at least.
Wow.
Third round. End of the second.
Now, for the record, Nando's a lot smarter than us. But
what round did he say?
6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. Yeah, I'd say end of the second, depending on the league. Third round.
Good stuff.
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer too. Shortstop.
It's too low, not even close.
Yeah.
D. Gordon's had a great start, and we keep waiting for the regression fairies to come on D. They haven't showed up, but Tulo's the man at short.
Okay. In the outfield, I'm penciling in 2 names right away, and hopefully they'll be there. Block your ears for a second. Stanton and Trout. Okay. Give me your 3 outfielders.
I've got Trout, Stanton, and you can't leave out Nelson Cruz, who I think has been the top fantasy player for the first half of the season.
If you drafted this lineup preseason, okay, so let's see. You probably could have got, let's say, Edwin in the first, Tulo in the second. So you wouldn't have got Trout. You wouldn't have got Trout and Encarnacion. Okay, still, though, you could have assembled maybe 80% of this lineup right here. Don't calculate the math.
And if you didn't get Trout or Stanton, you can make a case for Michael Brantley to be on this team as well.
Okay. I'm writing down, don't tell Gray that. He loves them. I'm writing down 3 starters. How many starters did you come up with? Don't tell me them yet.
I've got 4 starters, and one is the king of the hill.
Ken Hill? He's back in baseball? I thought he retired.
No, Kenny.
Okay. Tanaka, Kershaw, and Cueto all have to be there.
I've got Tanaka, Cueto, and Wainwright.
Okay.
And I think the best pitcher the first half of the season, he's got 145 Ks and 136 innings. That would be King Felix, and the ERA is just over 2. He's been the king.
Okay, hold on. I'm just looking on this list. I don't see Kershaw.
Kershaw was injured to start the year. So his stats are down a little bit.
Did I miss Kershaw? Yeah.
Compared to these other guys.
Kershaw, where are you?
So Kershaw just misses out. If we need a 5th starter, Kershaw would be a good one.
Yeah, he hasn't been a 5th starter since he wasn't even a 5th starter when he was a rookie.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the pen. Who you got in the pen?
I think for the bullpen comes down to two guys for me.
Okay.
One of them might surprise you. The other one probably won't. I mean, he leads the league in saves, but K-Rod, he's the guy that you want closing out the game.
Yep.
It's been a great year for him. But my second choice, and I don't know if I'm biased here, but it would be Koji Uehara.
Yeah, you're biased, but that's okay. Uehara's in the combo.
He doesn't have the saves, but I think if you look in the player rater over at Razzball.com, Koji is the number 2 reliever.
You got any middle relievers here?
I don't have any middle relievers. Who you got in mind?
Wade Davis.
Excellent, yeah.
Anyone off the top of your head?
Kevin Quackenbush.
Quackenbush. He's on my all-name team. Hey, real quick, just before we wrap up today's show, Guru, a couple of bullpen news and notes. Steve Cishek blew it again for the Marlins. The order I have it in is Chris Hatcher is first in line, Mike Dunn is second in line, Kevin Gregg isn't tall enough for this ride. You with me on that?
Oh, Kevin Gregg. He's dead to me. I think they're going to stick with Cishek there until the wheels fall completely off.
Yeah, I'm with you. They've stuck with him before. Joel Peralta blew the save in Tampa. I'm not even touching that situation, and Madden makes me mad. I actually called an assisted living facility in Tampa and made an anonymous call last week and said that maybe he belongs in there. Why isn't McGee getting the opportunity?
I have no clue what's going on,
Nick
and I can never.
Angry.
I like Joe Madden. I think he's entertaining, but he is maddening when it comes to decisions, and I can't figure out. I can't figure out from one moment to the next, what he's going to do. When you're making rosters based on Tommy Two-Tone songs, and you saw someone walking their grandmother, through the mall. It's just a weird way to go about it.
Who's the most we got to wrap this up, but real quick. Are Madden and Sociopath the most maddening managers for fantasy players? Anyone else you throw into that?
Oh, I think you could throw Kirk Gibson in there as well.
Maybe.
I mean, he's there in your neck of the woods. I don't know. How tough is the media there?
There are no woods here in Phoenix, just so you know. It's just barren. It's like Mars.
Your neck of the deserted Mad Max wasteland.
Yeah.
How tough is the media on old Gibby there in Phoenix?
They're tough front towers, as they should be. All right, Guru, we got to wrap this up. He is at the Guru GS. I am at Nick Capozzi. Thanks for joining us today on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We will see you tomorrow.